We interrupt this broadcast to briefly plug the Enjoy an Album Patreon. If you like us and want more of us in your ears, then you can simply pay £5 a month and get 2 extra bonus episodes. Christopher, what else did I get?
Ad-free episodes. You don't need to listen to this shite.
That's right. Also, exclusive pre-show, pre-sale access to stuff, our live shows. I did it for my tour. Chris didn't organise it, couldn't, I don't think. But anyway, we get extra stuff. Also, you get access to the backlog of episodes. If you're all caught up somehow to all of the public episodes, there's like, how many Patreon ones now? Like,
What, I say 15, but that'll increase.
15? You think there's only 15? We've been doing 2 a month for a year.
I don't know.
There's a lot
I
more
made
than
a
that.
collage of all of them once, and it was more than 15 now that I think about it.
Yeah, and that was a while ago. So there's been some since then too.
Give me some Patreon specials off the top of your head.
Hamilton.
The Darkness.
Yes, that was a good one.
Ed Sheeran.
Jerry Cinnamon.
Cherry Cinnamon more recently.
Jerry Sucker Balls. I'd give you an example of what we thought of that. So yeah, there's loads of stuff in there. It's £5 a month. The ultras are wonderful people. They sleep well at night. They have beautiful skin, and that is as a result of listening to 2 extra episodes of the podcast a month. So sign up now, patreon.com/enjoy an album. Hello and welcome to Enjoy an Album, back in the bloody studio where we belong.
Back in the USSR.
Back in the MBS place.
Back in the MBSPSS.
What's the PSS?
Monkey Barrel Podcast Studio Scene.
Very good. You've been on tour with Francis McDormand.
Me and Frankie McD. We've been out there solving crimes.
Yes.
Very similar to Shaggy and Scooby from the Mystery Machine. Francis is obviously Scooby. I am obviously Scooby-Doo.
You're scrappy. Come on. You're so scrappy coded, it's unreal.
That hurts.
I know. But first off, let me justify that. I like Scrappy.
Nobody likes him.
Well, no, I know nobody likes him, but I do, and that
Puppy power.
So
like that?
That's why it's perfect. Do you know what I
Nobody
mean?
likes that freak.
Let me at him.
I have said let me out many times.
You do have a Scrappy type.
Let me at this can of Iron Brew.
Yes, there you go. So we're back in the studio. You've been away. I've been away.
You've been away as well. Don't act as if I'm some
on the well, in a slightly different sense.
World War I soldier, and you're sitting at the window with a handkerchief to your neck, going, "When will he return from the war?"
Well, I've been out in the wars. I've been gigging.
Yeah.
I went to Durham.
Yes.
I went to Redcar.
What?
Yeah,
That's not a place.
Place near Middlesbrough.
That's just a thing you can have.
Pretty fucked up. And in London, I met so many.
What do you mean you're pretty fucked up? What do you mean because you went to Redcar?
No, I mean it's just a pretty fucked up place.
Yeah,
it's just pretty bleak.
Didcup, that's another place where I'm like, that's not
Didcup.
a place.
Yeah.
That's a thing. That's when you put your tit in a fucking
Redcar's
cup
it's one of those. What's it? Seaside town that forgot to close down.
The seaside town that forgot to close down.
Is that a lyric for something, or are you just singing it because it's nice?
Come Armageddon, come. It's funnily
it's
enough.
Los Campesinos.
It's fucking Morrissey.
Oh, okay. What?
Do you not know Suede Head by
Oh, of
Morrissey?
course. Yeah. Okay.
The seaside town. Oh, every day's like Sunday, I should say, not Suede Head.
Right. Every day is like Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I had a momentary mind blank there, and now I feel
it's because you've been so
stupid.
Johnny Marrch piled this month listening to
been
Johnny
erasing
Marrch.
Morrissey from my brain like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Great film. Meet me in Montauk.
Charlie Kaufman.
I want to forget about my girlfriend because I'm Morrissey.
Yeah, I think he would want to forget about his girlfriends.
He's not got any.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. No.
But he doesn't. Sometimes he would sing about it, though.
Sing about what?
Well, not to fucking, talk about Morrissey all podcast.
Well, actually, we're going to have an opportunity to talk about Morrissey at the live show, which is in less than a week now. So if you are listening to this episode late, you've already missed a live show. If you're listening to it when it comes out, then you've got 6 days, 17th of March at the Glasgow Comedy Festival. We're going to be talking about Meat is Murder live at the Glee. There's going to be you and a good few hundred other pod freaks.
4 people who went to my college are coming.
Wow.
I'm talking about Sneaky Deke. I'm talking about Holly.
Sneaky Deke?
Yeah. I'm talking about Jamie.
I feel like the nicknames really dropped off a cliff there. I'm talking about Sneaky Deeks. I'm talking about Jamie. Wow, shout out to Jamie.
Shout out to-
Sounds like a crazy guy.
Nah, yes, he actually knows how to play a lot of Smith songs on guitar, so I might get him out of the crowd and get him to play a couple of riffs
Okay.
so we can talk about Johnny
I'm
Marr.
sure he'd be keen to do that. Sneaky Deek just sitting there like, wish I'd learn how to
Do you know, Sneaky Deke's actually one of the most honoured political journals of Scotland of the year 2024. He works for the Dundee Courier, I believe. And
Wow.
he's really, I think he has a podcast where he talks about politics. So
He
shout
is.
out to Derek Healy.
He is quite sneaky from the sounds of things then.
We all thought Sneaky Deke, what he be doing. Turns out he's the only real journalist of all of us, except for me. with
Except
this
for you,
podcast.
of course.
Yeah.
So look, it's Glasgow Comedy Festival. Tickets are available. It's going to be a lot of fun. Chris is going to individually shake everybody's hand after.
A, I'm not doing that. B, can I apologise for going in depth on Sneaky Deke lore when I should have been plugging Meat is Murder live episode at the Glasgow Glee,
Deke is
March
murder.
17th.
Deke is sneaky.
What's the fucking name of the day? St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day.
We are going to be handing out homemade shamrock shakes.
We're going to be wearing those big Guinness hats. Maybe we should.
Can you get my Guinness Zero hat for you?
There must be a Guinness Zero.
There's no alcohol in this hat. 0% alcohol. This is alcohol-free hat.
I mean, look, I'm taking a year off St. Patrick's Day, which I normally celebrate by drinking 12 pints of Guinness Zero and shitting myself. So this is the dedication I have to the pod. That's one of the only live things coming up. You've just announced a bloody huge show at Glasgow Pavilion, home of Laurel and Hardy, Charlie Chaplin.
Not to put Laurel and Hardy on blast. Secret Post show.
Right.
I think his dad was in the Masons.
But Masons, are they always posh, the Masons?
It's money, it's power.
Right, yeah, okay.
Secret society.
Okay.
This is always a Masonic podcast. Thank you very much to the Orange Lodges
Illuminati.
of Glasgow and Edinburgh for sponsoring us.
Yes.
Manscaped have dropped out and the Orange Order stepped in. So
Use the code ORANGE20.
Use the code. That was a very loud
Tickle my
handshake.
finger when you give me a handshake and you get 20% off.
Squeeze the soft bit that you use for volleyball with your thumb when you know about that. If you tuck your thumb into your fist, this bit becomes very pudgy, and that's
Maybe on you, bro. I've been working out. You know, we're doing your hand exercises.
I've been thinking about it. Anyway, enough of that. Orange Order shit.
You're doing the Glasgow Pavilion in November?
Who's played there? Peter Powers, the hypnotist, played there.
Yeah. So, say no more.
3 times a day. He'll play there. He'll do the kids show, the normal show, the sexy show.
Yep.
And the identical shows.
And you don't need to do 3 shows to hit all those markets.
No way.
You're doing kids, adults, and sexy all in a one-er.
Yes, I think.
You start the first 20 minutes basically is about sexy kids from what I remember of your show.
No, it's not about that at all.
You rank,
None of the shows about
you
that.
rank the sexiest kids you ever seen.
And if you want to see another big pedo, you can watch Liam on his tour. Yeah. Forgot you hadn't.
You use the word
yet.
another though, which it means you're admitting that you're a pedo.
I'm going down with the ship.
Like a good captain.
Yeah.
Yes, my tour starts on March 29th at the Glasgow Comedy Festival, and it goes on for about 6 weeks after that.
You're going everywhere. You're going to Southampton.
Yep, that's it. Glasgow, Southampton World Tour. No, we're going to Leeds and Bristol and Manchester, Liverpool, London, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Perth, Aberdeen, Newcastle, Birmingham, Southampton, Cambridge. Maybe there's one I've forgotten.
Sick.
Brighton?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's all
Your
of them.
favourite place in the world where I went recently.
Yes, for 10 minutes.
Fato El Mano Pizza. Huh?
Well, you didn't eat it though.
I walked past it. Looked busy.
Yeah, well, it's
So I'll take your word for it that it was
It's good pizza. So that's all the stuff I think we need to plug. This episode is a continuation of Johnny Marrch, and we hope you enjoy it. It's
Can we just explain what Johnny Marrch is?
nope.
Okay.
It's a month of dedication to Johnny Marr.
Yes.
A month of dedication to Johnny Marr.
Let's do the episode.
New catchphrase. Let's do the episode.
Let's do the episode now, man.
You're listening to Enjoy an Album, the podcast where 2 comedians listen to some of the greatest albums of all time.
Johnny Marr clearly knows how to make an entrance. His crunching opening riff on We Were Aborted, the first careering track on the Cribs' fourth album, emphasised what a masterstroke the band had pulled off by recruiting the services of the former Smiths guitarists. Marr joined forces with Ryan to add extra six-string squalls to the stunningly dystopian City of Bugs, the imploring Cheeto Me, and the soaring We Share the Same Skies, all of which are still rapturously received whenever they make their welcome return to a Cribs set list. We are back with another episode in the Johnny Marrch Enjoy an Album series.
Let's do the episode. Oh, we done that bit?
Yeah, we are.
We're in the episode.
Well, this is the episode.
What do you think of that blurb?
Well, I had trouble finding the blurb.
Oh, yeah.
So there wasn't one on Apple Music.
Oh. Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes that happens. So then you have to sort of scour reviews for... So this was in a thing on NME called Every Cribs Album Ranked.
Where did it come?
Third.
Oh.
I
guess? 1 and 2?
Yes, you'll be able to.
2, men's needs, women's needs, whatever. 1, the new fellas?
I think it was the other way around.
Oh, okay. Controversial.
I mean, well, not really controversial. Men's needs, women's needs. That's where most of the hits are on. But that brings us nicely to our question. First cue. What did you know about the Cribs?
Enough that I could accurately guess the top 2 albums and the top 3 albums by the NME.
But not enough that in our previous Patreon-only episode, in which we covered Inception, which Johnny Marr helps out on the soundtrack of, you incorrectly told everybody we were going to be covering men's needs, women's needs, whatever, because you thought Johnny Marr was on that, and it wasn't until we corrected on the Patreon that we found out otherwise.
Shout out to the person who jumped in and stopped us from making what would have been a real fool of ourselves if we had done, which we were that close to doing.
Well, I don't know how far we would have got, because in the research stages we'd have learned pretty quickly that Johnny Marr had nothing to do with men's needs, women's needs, whatever.
But you always do a dry listen, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I
always
would
do a
have.
dry listen.
I'd have listened to it.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I listened to lots of it anyway.
Do you know why I think? I think it's just because that riff, now I think about it, it's not very Johnny Marr, but do you know that?
No, that's not very Johnny Marr at all.
But I think he would listen to it, man. That's cool.
It's a banging riff. I mean, look, when they met him and they invited him to join the album, he'd have known their oeuvre.
Can't believe you've... Wait a minute. This week's great resource for me, also for the Inception episode, also just for life. I read this in 2 days.
Yes.
This is the 450-page Johnny Marr autobiography. Set the boy free.
225 pages a day.
I've done 225 pages a day.
Signed by Barack Obama.
If only. He wasn't around, unfortunately.
Christopher?
Do you want to hear what Hans Zimmer said?
Hans Zimmer's doing the forward.
Yeah, well,
you know that you fucking sucked and fucked your way through an incredible career if Hans Zimmer is giving you a quote for your book, Paul. That's crazy.
And wait to hear what Hans Zimmer says.
Zimmer, hello there. Johnny, I thought you were so funny and clever. I love your hair. I haven't read the book. I'm very busy making soundtracks for 200 movies a year. But I'm sure it's very good.
Johnny, your hair looks like a little pigeon sometimes. Exotic pigeon that you see in the zoo. That's not what he said in the blurb. He said, like James Joyce was to Dublin.
Wow.
Johnny Marr was to Manchester. The great und the hardship und the valor und the epicness of Manchester. It's all there in his music. With every note, he tells you a story of where he's from. He has the courage to stand there and let people look into his soul and let himself be known. He turns these songs into movies. He is the movie.
Whoa.
That's probably the best blurb I've ever heard in my life. Apple Music should be phoning Hans Zimmer up going, hey, I know you're busy with your film soundtracks and also being in the Bugles that time, but would you like to do a couple of blurbs?
Can you imagine someone saying that you were like the... what James Joyce was to Dublin of where you're from? If someone said
Bayliston.
You are the James Joyce of Dagenham.
Yeah.
Do you know what, though?
You'd like it. You take it.
I think I might be.
I think Michael O'Dwyer would be.
You think he's more James Joyce than I? You're crazy. You've lost your goddamn mind.
No, but
you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I love Michael O'Dwyer.
Me too. We went to
I've been
primary school.
texting him.
Okay.
Not texting him. I've been responding to
his
his
number?
Instagram.
You've been responding to his Instagram. You've been responding flame emojis to his Instagram story. Yeah, me and him, we chat. Shout out to Mike Wardawala. He's actually very funny.
I just think that, not saying he's more like James Joyce than you, I'm just saying what James Joyce was to Dublin, a chronicler, you know, someone who lived there his whole life. No offense, but you've left Dagenham. How can you be the James Joyce of somewhere that you've left?
You don't think that you can...
Well, James Joyce didn't. Anyway, I think you're great, but there you have it. I've been reading this book.
I'm going to write a Dagenham version of Ulysses called Heathway. It's all about just one day around Dagenham Heathway, going to Discount Shoe Zone, going to the plethora of charity shops and betting shops, and ending the day at the Lord Denman and getting stabbed.
Yeah, and it's somehow an epic retelling of Homer's The Odyssey.
Yeah. Or, I mean, they don't like Homers in Dagenham. Let me tell you that right now.
They like Homer's?
Yeah, it's a joke about Dagenham people being homophobic.
Are they?
Yes.
The only two I know is you and my favourite comedian, Michael O'Dwyer. So I don't know how.
Both two very homophobic men.
And was there not another cunt who said he was from Dagenham?
Jamali Maddox pretended to be from Dagenham.
Yeah.
And I was really excited. And then I met him and I found out he was from Ilford. And he just said, but people didn't know that. So I just said Dagenham. I thought, that's cultural appropriation.
It also sounds cool. Ilford, it sounds ill. Sick.
I'm the illest.
Yeah.
I'm from Ilford.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
but he doesn't say that anymore. That was just when he first started.
all right.
Anyway.
It's like Mark Watson with that Welsh accent, isn't it? It's like
What was that all about?
What was that about, Mark?
Or you pretended to be from Glasgow.
Yeah, I've put that behind me.
He's actually from Edinburgh, eh?
Hey.
My name's Christopher McAtaboy, eh?
Imagine.
I've been eating cereal and it's pure scary. I got refrained from my cereal.
I didn't like that, eh?
So
When's the first time you heard of the Cribs?
So the Cribs, for me, I mean, it was really perfect age, right? I was like 16, 17 when Men's Needs, Women's Needs, whatever came out.
You had this record?
I didn't have it.
Did you legally download this record?
I think I'd illegally downloaded via LimeWire, along with some MILF pornography, which just came with everything you downloaded on LimeWire.
Yeah.
But
as I said to my dad at the time, yeah.
Here's the thing that me and my friends, we were listening to the Smiths. We were listening to Joy Division, Velvet Underground, Suede. And I think that the Cribs, we kind of saw them as being part of the uncool new indie landfill. But I did like that album, but a lot of my friends didn't really. So
what's that called? It's the opposite of recency bias, isn't it?
Yeah.
Latency bias.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, there were lots of shy indie bands at the time. Your Pigeon Detectives, your Wombats, your Kaiser Chiefs, okay?
Do not lump the Kaiser Chiefs in with indie landfill, please.
But this is what we had done. And
Yes.
I think the Cribs were kind of a bit unfairly lumped in with that as well. But I will say that they didn't help themselves.
With what?
Well, they had the indie landfill uniform, the leather jackets, and the and the skinny jeans.
Yeah, but
they were doing lots of which was that was the language. Do you know what I mean? They had
to me, there was a bit more to it than that.
There was, which is what I'm going on to say. And then when I left school, I did a couple of weeks work experience at XFM on the Alex Zane Breakfast Show. I think we've spoken about this before.
Did you not meet Josh Weller?
That was the first time I met Josh Weller, long before either of us had ever done stand-up, because he was opening for Devontae Hines, aka Lightspeed Champion.
Yes.
AKA
Blood Orange.
Yeah.
AKA Taste Icicles.
Who I went to review. And the night
What was your review?
Well, I would go on the radio and with Alex Zane and Pete Donaldson, and they would just say, "What was it like last night?" And I would just be like, "Oh, it was good." And that was it, really. It wasn't like an in-depth musical journalism review like this, in which we do impressions of Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
And then, so one of the nights was
I loved you on Radio X.
Ticket. It was XFM at the time.
XFM.
Well, one of the nights I went to review the Cribs.
Wow.
At Brixton Academy.
What's that venue like? Give me a capacity.
Brixton Academy?
Yeah.
One of the best venues in the country. Oh. Shits on Barrowlands.
Shits on Barrowlands?
I've spoken about it before because it has the arched floor.
Oh.
So
everybody gets a good view.
everybody gets a good view. Although it has been closed for a while because there was a crushing incident, and it might not be real.
Didn't laugh about the crushed people there.
No, it wasn't funny. But
What band was playing when the people got crushed?
I'm not sure. I think it was a rapper, and I think they oversold it. Let's not. Okay,
Let's
right.
out them.
You're gonna have a look now.
Hopefully they're not signed to Off the Grid or something.
Did they do bands?
Brixton Crush. What happened in the Crush?
What happened in the Crush? Who was playing?
A Nigerian Afrobeat singer called Asaki.
Right. Okay. So there you go. So what do you want to say about that? Are you glad you paused my story for that? For that dead air?
Cut that out.
So I went to Brixton Academy to
Is it not bad to have a slanted floor for wheelchair people?
wheelchair people?
People in wheelchairs?
I think there is a disabled access area.
Okay, as long as I've thought of that.
Also, this is 2008, though, before anyone had even thought about that.
Nobody knew.
Anyway, the Cribs were on. This was the NME tour, and it was a pretty good set. I was there with my brother, and then near the
Big or
end,
wee?
big,
Oh.
and near the end, I went, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome good friend of ours, Johnny Marrch."
Oh!
And I lost my fucking mind because I was like, "This is like peak Smith's listening Liam."
Yeah.
So I barged my way to the front, and they played "Panic" with Johnny Marrch.
Panic on the streets of Birmingham.
One of my best live musical moments.
That must have
ever.
been one of the first times. Because I know that they'd done a limited tour, Brixton, Glasgow, and some other places. And so they played Panic, and you're like, this fucking rocks. And then you went on XFM and told Alex Zane the very same
Yeah, exactly.
story. Wow.
Yeah, really, really cool.
Yeah, Alex Zane, yeah. What about?
I don't have his number. I don't think.
No, but you can do what I do with Michael Adwale. We just respond to his Instagram stories and
Send him flame
pretend you're
emojis.
friends with them.
I have seen him once.
This is a cute cough.
Cute.
It's like a mouse with breathing problems. He's back! The mouse is back!
The frog in my throat. So
Mouse, you're right, okay.
I have seen Alex Zane once since then. At the Fringe, maybe this will probably be 8 or 9 years ago now. I saw him and I chatted with him very briefly, and he did remember my wee stint. He said, haven't seen him since. Stint. It was
What's
like 2
his
weeks.
accent sound like?
He's from Leeds.
He's from Leeds.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You must have been jacking off big time at these boys.
Yes. Well, that gets us nicely into.
I haven't done my
Your-
Cribs life story.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, check your watch for?
Because we've only got a short amount of period of time today.
Oh my god. My big sister loved the Cribs.
Of course she did.
She was obsessed with the Kaiser Chiefs, which is obviously rubbed off on me. And long story short, well, to cut another long story short, start a wee story and then end it very quickly. The Kaiser Chiefs have just put their 8th record out called the Kaiser Chiefs 8 Easy Record album, I think. And the Cribs do backing vocals on one of the tracks, produced by Nile Rodgers.
Noah Rodgers of Chic.
Of Chic, yes. And it's quite
How do you find
disco.
time to do that between playing every festival in the world?
Well, I think he just shows up and goes.
I saw him live and it was fucking amazing.
It's one of the greatest guitarists of all time.
He was
And I
really
think Johnny Marr would agree with that, actually. Anyway, so my big sister was obsessed with the Kaiser Chiefs from before Employment came out.
Whoa.
I'm talking pre-first album.
Yep.
Cribs opened for them, another Leedsian, Leopoldian band. Not quite, didn't go to private school. I'm sure we'll find out maybe quite soon. But they were opening for the Kaisers. My big sister fell in love with the Cribs. They became her number one band.
Oh, wow. She was there day one?
She was a day oneer for the Cribs. She had
Wow.
the Cribs. She had the New Fellas. She had the other albums they put out.
Yep.
And I would just hear the Cribs in my house all the time.
I'm a realist.
No, I'm talking about
romantic.
2004, 5 years before that song came
Yeah,
out.
that's a
I'm
good
talking
song, though.
about.
Hey, sisters. Hey, sisters.
Even before that.
That was
for
their
the
first
second album.
kind of big one, though, wasn't it?
Do you remember that one song? I'm alone and I'm cold. Just another number on another. You were always the one.
So, were you like, this is cool, my sister's into it, I like it as well? Were you like, I'm going to go listen to my own music, I like Metallica?
This was when I was like 11.
Right.
So this was like, fuck. You know, your sister's 17, you're 11. She's listening to a cool rock band. I was like, this all fucking rocks. This is so cool. I want these guys' haircuts.
Right. What's something, a tradition which you've kept up to this day?
I still have Ryan Jarman's haircuts in a bag, and I take it everywhere.
Okay, very good. Well, you hinted at it. Let's do some background info on the Cribs. Secret potion! Secret potion! You say it's good, but it's actually the Gottosha. They are from Wakefield. End of section.
End of sentence.
No, they went to Horbury High School, a normal school, one of those that doesn't really have a Wikipedia page. Nothing going on there. I'm going to read this sentence that I think sums up most of their background. We tried going to study music at a local college, says Ryan, but we didn't turn up enough to be allowed to continue, and we still wanted to use their recording studio facilities. Naturally, they wouldn't let us because we were failing the course. So we had to book into the recording studio under a name that they wouldn't recognise. The Cribs was just the first name that popped into my head. After the boys left school, employment prospects proved scarce locally, and they went to work alongside their father for 2 years in a factory producing toilet paper.
Toilet paper factory.
Toilet paper nepo babies. Daddy got you a job at the toilet paper factory. Okay.
Secret partial confirmed.
Yes. A toilet paper factory in Wakefield.
Fucking hell.
That's almost like a joke northern job, isn't it?
But was it Phil Ellis worked somewhere like that? Like a factory for toilet paper or something?
Yeah.
In Preston. Must have been a rival.
How many toilet paper factories? Well, listen, people shit a lot.
But it's crazy. I mean, the late...
Are you a Who Gives a Crap guy?
Yeah. Let's talk, come on. Shout out to Who Gives a Crap, sponsor of this week's pod.
Yes.
Well, they let me clean my bum and then I sit next to you and I don't smell like shit.
Which
so that's
I'm grateful for.
Shout out to them.
Thanks, guys.
And the same way for you, I'd imagine. Yeah. You're a pitch Who Gives a Crap guy?
We do have them. Actually, I use wipes. Like the
what are you using?
The wet wipes. Things.
What are you using Who Gives a Crap for then?
Well, I don't really use them, but they're on my house.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
You keep conversation piece.
For my dinner parties. Nina Simone on the record player.
Stick Nina Simone on and let's all look at my big box of toilet paper, please. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Thanks. Thanks for inviting me around to eat lasagna and look at this toilet paper. Is that Nina Simone playing? Wow. That's me.
So this album, they got Johnny Marrch in.
Yeah, so basically the story was Johnny Marrch was living in Portland, Oregon at the time because he had recently joined Modest Mouse, who would very much become, to me, what the Cribs were, my big sister.
Yep. And then your little brother is really into Modest Mouse after living.
Yeah, but then he got super into Skrillex. So Skrillex is to him what the Modest Mouse
Skrillex
was to
and Johnny
me.
Marrch done a collab?
No, and they never will. So
that's what that would sound like.
I don't think it would. But okay. No, that's good. That's good.
If anybody can improvise a better Skrillex Johnny Marrch mashup, that's what I did. That's the same thing.
It was different.
It's the same thing. You're unbelievable. You know that. Fucking doing the same thing back at me.
Yeah. So Johnny Marrch was living in Portland, Oregon, the hip town in America at the time.
I mean, it's hip now. I think it would have been pre-hip then.
Must have been hip if these cunts are living there.
2008?
Do you think a scene star from Wakefield plus the coolest guitarist of all time are living in the uncool town in America for no reason?
I think they made it cool.
Well, maybe.
You know, like those. It's that thing where it's like really cheap to live somewhere.
Yeah.
So all the artists go there.
Yeah.
But that's what it's still when it's rough. So this is like pre-gentrification. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now
I don't
it's
know if it was
gentrified.
ever rough, but yeah. So
You ever played the Oregon Trail?
okay, it would have been rough in the 1800s
Yeah,
when
man.
it was just oxen.
Everyone's fucking dying of dysentery. Do you know what I mean? No wonder people are annoyed about gentrification. People are like,
Yeah.
fuck, man, where's my oxen?
I preferred it when I had pleurisy from walking through a river, and now everybody has shoes.
Like no one has cholera on my street anymore. This area has changed so much.
It just pisses me off, man. So They were both living in Portland, Oregon at the time, post gentrification or mid gentrification, and they were at a barbecue. Gary Jarman, bass player, and Johnny Marr, and he was like, "Oh, I'm in a band, like a British rock band." He like, what? And then he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And they started playing. And he was just like, he'd just been. I mean, to give you a potted life history of Johnny Marr, he was in the Smiths, and then he was
What?
yeah, and then he done a bunch of other stuff. Then he was in Mouse Mouse. Then he was in the Cribs. So I mean, it's just but here's the thing: I love the Cribs. Was the first time I ever heard of Johnny Marr. Then I got into Modest Mouse through that.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Then I got into the Smiths.
Whoa.
After all of that shit.
Okay, so that's the complete opposite way around to me.
And also every other person in the world.
Yeah, that's correct. Nobody got into Johnny Marr via... That's like getting into Johnny Marr via Inception.
Yeah.
I first heard of Johnny Marr after...
I'm the chemist.
That's crazy.
Going into someone's dreams like putting a prescription in.
What
You got to turn around and rifle through cupboards for 10 minutes.
What I would give to be at the barbecue with the Cribs and Johnny Marr. Can you imagine the kind of...
Would have been a veggie barbecue.
No, Morrissey's not there.
No, Johnny Marr's been a veggie for almost his whole life.
Right, okay.
I don't know about the Cribs though.
These boys, come on. They're eating meat. They're eating
They're
fucking...
beating meat and they're eating meat.
They're beating meat and they're eating meat. They're eating sausage rolls.
What I wouldn't give to have a three-way jack-off sesh with Johnny Marr, Guy Charman.
Men's needs! Men's needs! Jack off on me!
Okay. I wasn't sure where you were going and then you absolutely nailed it. What a riff. That's what we do when someone does a good riff. We do that good riff.
That is a good riff. The meeting between Johnny Marr and the Cribs, as well as the Cribs' background in the toilet paper industry, was chronicled online by a cartoon that you found and sent me.
So Jeffrey Lewis,
who
I've sang on stage with.
What?
I've sang on stage with Jeffrey Lewis. Sorry about that.
He turned into the Come From Future Islands there. I was going to say, we're Jeffrey Lewis.
We're Jeffrey Lewis.
Seasons change.
Seasons change.
So, okay.
Jeffrey Lewis.
A few things to say here. Okay, so we researched and had a Jeffrey Lewis episode ready to go.
With special guest Josie Long.
With special guest Josie Long. Then it was a fuck up. We couldn't do it. We are going to do it at some point. So we never got to do the Jeffrey Lewis
I
episode.
wouldn't say it was a fuck up.
I can't remember what happened.
It was Josie's fault, but I don't want to say what.
Well, then
Let's
there
not
was
call
no
it a fuck up,
well,
or that it was her fault.
Well, I mean,
It wasn't her fault; it was my fault.
Yeah, I didn't attribute blame to anybody. And now you've made it a bigger thing than it needed to be publicly. No, keep that there.
All right, don't do that.
So we were going to record an episode on Jeffrey Lewis with Josie Long.
Mm-hmm.
We never got to. So I've never heard this story. You were presumably waiting for all of us to be here to record it, to tell us that you've actually sang on stage with Jeffrey Lewis. Most people won't know who Jeffrey Lewis is, I think.
Well, he was an anti-folk singer, and the thing about the Cribs that kind of differentiates them from the indie landfill of the Pigeon Detectives and all this type of shit, they weren't doing it. They were trying to be, do you know when Naughty Monkeys go, I just wanted to be one of the Strokes. Now look at the mess you made me make. It's like, these guys were actually trying to be the Wakefield Strokes.
Yeah.
With their little leather jackets and their little skinny jeans, and they're fucking great post-punk. But they were also really into, where's my book? Can you grab me that book? Our Band Could Be Your Life. This is like, if you want to get into like 90s, the history of American indie rock between Black Flag and Nirvana, this is the fucking shit to read. There's a whole chapter on Beat Happening, which was this weird indie scene in America, and there's a guy it was like K Recordings, I think it was called, and they are fucking ripping them off, and they're ripping off all these types of bands. So it's a slightly different style of indie with a slightly different set of ethics than what you would get from Hardfly, you know.
So Jeffrey Lewis,
right? So Jeffrey Lewis, they were into anti-folk, who were also, that kind of movement was also coming out of the Beat Happening thing of deliberately being childish or bad to kind of create a fucking vibe. So like there's like songs on the second Cribs album where they just play the same chord the whole song, and it's like an experiment. Like, do you need chord changes? Turns out no. So Jeffrey Lewis My sister got into him because they opened for the Cribs. I got into him because I interviewed him when I was a music journalist. And my big sister showed me his stuff when I was a teenager. So when I interviewed him, I was talking to him about how I'd recently been in a High School Musical.
You were in High School Musical?
I was in High School Musical with Zac Efron and the woman from High School Musical.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. It was
That's her
crazy
name.
time.
That is her name.
And then I was talking to him about being in the Little Shop of Horror musical. And then at the end of his set, sold out in mono, he went, "Where's that wee guy that was interviewing me earlier? Do you want to come up and sing the song from Little Shop of Horrors?"
What the fuck?
So I got up with him and said, "You'll be a dance, you'll be a dance." And we just done that kind of, and the people were loving it. Sometimes I'm in Glasgow and somebody will come up to me and go, "Excuse me," and I'll go, "Yes, I'm the famous comedian and podcaster Chris MacArthur Boyd from Enjoy an Album and Here Comes a Guillotine." And they'll go, "No, are you not that wee guy who sang the Little Shop of Horrors song in mono with Jeffrey Lewis that one time?" And I go, "Oh yeah, that was me."
I can't believe we've been doing this podcast so long and you've never told us that. You've been on stage with Jeffrey Lewis and sang. That's cool.
I was saving it for Josie.
Yeah.
And then that never happened.
She fucked up, apparently, according to you.
Fucking ruined it. Josie, if you're listening, I hate
She
you.
She does listen.
I know. No, I just want to say I love Josie. I can't wait to get her on to retell that story.
Right, so Jeffrey Lewis.
Sorry, big digression there.
Yes, on an episode that we are up against it time wise as well. So Jeffrey Lewis, a big anti-folk, but
Liam
also
has a bomb inside his bum.
Well, that's no different to any usual. Jesus Christ.
No, but it's one of these things where if you record a podcast that lasts over an hour, it explodes. So it's the opposite speed, I think.
Yeah, but
it's a film called Concise.
Still got Keanu Reeves in it. So Jeffrey Lewis, fucking hell.
Whoa.
He was. I don't even care.
What were
about
you
this
talking
anymore.
about at this point?
Well, I've been trying to talk about this comic strip that he did about the Cribs, and
So
I was hoping for a quick. Who's Jeffrey Lewis? He's an anti-folk musician that Josie Long liked, who also draws cartoons. And then that should have been it.
Sorry, my life's fascinating.
Well, no, you also done a fucking 10-minute deviation about this book that you bring up every other fucking week.
It's a great book. Put it back.
Fucking bark demands at me.
Please put it back. Sorry. Anyway, so Jeffrey Lewis, he's an amazing anti-folk singer. He's also a comic book artist. So at one of his shows that I went that night that I sang with him, he done this thing where he done the history of the Velvet Underground, where he played sound-alikes and he went through every itineration and every member of the Velvet Underground and played a 10-minute song that told the story of their work with handmade illustrations projected.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah.
And he's, as well known in certain indie comic circles as he would be in certain like music circles. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so he's done one online. It's
like an Alistair Gray.
He does one on. There's one online you sent me, and it's the history of the Cribs, basically, and their meeting with Johnny Marr, and it's cool. It's a cool little comic strip to look at.
There's a good joke where the Gary Jarman says, "Hi, I play in a band called the Cribs, but my day job used to be worked in a toilet paper factory." And Johnny Marr goes, "Oh, I play guitar in a band called the Cribs. My day job used to be I played guitar in the Smiths."
It's pretty good stuff.
Pretty good for it though.
I want to touch on something that you just said though about the sort of what differentiates the Cribs from the other indie landfill, or even the lad rock sort of crew.
Yeah, it wasn't lad rock. Some of the early lyrics are a bit.
Well, so this is what they said about that. Someone asked them about how they felt about getting tarnished with laddism. He said it happened especially because they were a northern band. Those people, lads, have my entire life been my nemesis, and it's disgusted me we've been lumped in with stuff like that. It's a differentiation between lad rock and punk rock. Lad rock, which was Oasis barroom straight uninspired music becoming assimilated into some approximation of punk. Being around that was so frustrating and made me not want to be in a band for a while because the lines had become so blurred. I always hated it. I was always disgusted at it. I thought it was quite cool that he was like putting Oasis on blast like that.
Especially when his good friend Johnny Marrch gave Noel Gallagher or Liam Gallagher the Les Paul that they recorded Definitely Maybe, which was also the guitar that they recorded
You don't need to check.
Meet His Murderer.
Yeah, but I can see. But then again, when you have songs like "Men's Needs,"
but it's saying men's needs and women's needs are different. Sure. It's about that.
Yeah, of course, right? But it does play into it's
No, he's
You
saying,
can-
no, here's what the song says though. Man's needs, women's
No,
needs,
no,
women's
no.
needs.
I'm not-
follow creed, I don't agree.
I'm not talking about the interpretation of the song. I'm talking about the fact that you're writing something that men, like lads, are inevitably going to stand at the back of your gig and go,
What, guitar music?
well, yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like, again, it's that like indie
Catchy.
landfill thing. Yeah, it was catchy. It's
Yeah.
catchy, and they are lads, and they're sexy, and
You think they're sexy?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in a kind of
Life.
fucked up way. Guy's teeth are all fucked.
Do you know, see when I was a wee guy,
He's got like a dead tooth and stuff.
Yeah.
It's hot.
mine's fell out.
You what?
My old dead tooth fell out.
Right. We died.
Yeah, they like it when it's in your mouth, but as soon as it falls out, they're like, that's gross. You're like, it's actually grosser when it's in there. Anyway, I just remember girls I hung about with when I was younger, and they were always like, I just love a really skinny, fucked up. Like, I always think girls like a type of guy who's so skinny that he could eat soup out of his own chest, you know?
That's how skinny I was when I was like 17. Used to be able to count my ribs.
Yeah.
And then I discovered food. Turns out, class.
You got a big emoji on your.
Yeah, I
we'll
do.
get to that. Do you want to get to that?
This is part of my YouTube comment of the week, which is a biggie.
On his YouTube comment of the week.
This is on men's needs.
Oh.
This is at Veteran Hedonist. He says, just been watching The In-Betweeners in the middle of the night because I can't sleep.
Sick.
And this came on, and I couldn't remember who sang it. So I did that thing on Google where you search for a song by humming or singing if you know the lyrics. I'd forgot the lyrics because they only played the riff. Anyway, short story long. See what they did there? It's a Christopher MacArthur Boyd comment. Short story long. After about 8 attempts, I got it. Then kicked myself that it was the Cribs. And yeah, I'm aware there are apps that tell you what song it is instantly.
Shazam.
But I'm stubborn. So carried on humming until it finally came up. Now I'm even more wide awake searching for indie songs from the same time in the noughties, like the Fratellis and Glass Vegas, Pigeon Detectives, and that band that sang The Heavyweight Champion of the World. Yeah, I know I'll kick myself when I remember that band too. I'm going to search for that though, instead of humming.
So wait, can I interrupt?
1 second, I'm nearly finished. My girlfriend is asleep and she already knows I'm slightly crazy. And then there's that emoji, which is the...
Crazy face.
Yeah.
So he's humming into an app.
Yeah.
So that's fine, but he doesn't like the ones where you just play a song into the app.
Yeah, he wants to hum it. He wants to get it himself, you know?
So it's not anti-app.
No, he doesn't want to... Well, hang on. So, yeah, basically. And he doesn't just want to Google the lyrics either. He wants to hum it and have an app, then tell him what it is. You know what I mean?
What's his name?
Veteran Hedonist.
Veteran hedonist? You don't sound like a veteran hedonist. You sound like a fucking veteran dick.
Wow, okay. Also, his girlfriend is asleep next to him and he's humming. Those
Go
apps
here,
pretty
Matt,
good. Should I
unhinged.
try? I'm going to try that actually, right?
Okay, so we've got a limited amount of time and you want to download an app.
I don't download it. It's Google, right? Okay. What? Oh. Continue to voice search. Search for a song.
In London.
Don't
Oh,
talk.
sorry.
Men's Knees to Cribs
Or the Puss Suite.
or The Puss Suite by Henry Jackman. It's one of the two.
Let's hear that. Get a snip
Oh, it's
playlist.
from Puss in Boots.
Oh,
Oh, for fuck's sake, YouTube adverts.
fucking athletic. Shut up. Nobody likes that shite.
I'm signed up to it.
Oh, what if a football magazine was for gimps?
Man's knees, man's knees, a fire of greed, a fire of greed, a man's Okay, that's enough of that. That's quite enough of that.
A shite on me. So my on his YouTube comment of the week, pretty short. It's interesting how we influence each other. Esteban Kid 10, whose logo, his avatar is an American flag waving.
Wow.
Pretty
We got a
American.
patriot over
We got
here.
a patriot, someone who cares about their fucking country. Esteban Kid said,
Hey, hang on, his name is Esteban and he's got an American flag in his country?
he sounds like a complicated guy.
Yeah, okay.
Wait to hear what he says. A song as good as this can only come out of 2006.
Well, I mean, look, Esteban, I ain't disagreeing with you.
And then someone called Def Leppard 1812 got in touch to say, American flag, I served you back in 01 to 09. 1901 to 1909.
Whoa.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means. I served you.
Well, he's saying he was a soldier.
Right. In
But then he's
1901.
also saying that he's impossibly old.
Oh,
In the comments to Mirror Kisses by the Cribs.
yeah, and also like to have served in 1901. He would have had to have been 18, so he would have been born 1880, probably.
Older than the cold, delicious taste that Iron Brew 1901.
But a little bit sweeter.
Iron Brew gets you through.
Should we have a look at the tats of these lads? The Germans. I'm German.
Don't do it yet.
In a northern accent.
Two guys reviewing tattoos. We're gonna Google image searching and we'll choose if it's tattoo woohoo or tattoo boo. You're judging the ink, yeah, that's what you do. Is it full sleeve or face tats, big skull or wing bats? You pick the design, is it bad or just fine? A dragon or a skull, pretentious or dull? You can hide and we will decide if it's tattoo woohoo or tattoo boo-hoo. The Cribs do not have any tattoos.
That's crazy, isn't it? They're so tattoo coded. I would have bet money on one of them having tats.
Couldn't see any.
That's-
However, there is a hashtag. All Cribs tattoos posted. I believe all tattoos retweeted or something on Twitter from 5 years ago. So this is a fan's tattoo.
I love these. These are always so fucked up.
Okay, so he's got the full Cribs sleeve.
Whoa.
Not a Cribs album cover.
So this guy has the 3 members of the Cribs tattooed.
I'm talking Ryan Jarman.
Yes.
Gary Jarman.
Yes.
Ross Jarman. 3 brothers.
Well,
How cool is
Jarman
it that
like
they're
is a
brothers?
thing of the past.
We Jarman. We Jarman. We hope you like the Cribs too.
So it's these sort of photorealistic tattoos, which
Not my favourite style.
I hate them. And you can tell which one he likes the most because the drummer
That's so
is like
fucked.
just hidden a bit by his watch strap, whereas the lead singer, he looks blind. Why have you got a blind version of the Cribs
I think
tattooed
his eyes
on
are
you?
closed. I don't think he's blind. I can't see, but I don't think he's blind. I think he's.
Are you so blind you cannot see?
So
That
much
this-
you cannot see.
Cunt's eyes are closed.
Something a demon would say to you if you were trying to fucking avoid him.
And do you know what? This guy's he's got blonde, hairy arms, which
it.
is adding a sort of crackled effect to the.
It looks like he's got electricity powers.
Yes.
Not the guy, the Ryan Jarman.
Yeah.
I hate hairy blonde arms. You don't have.
I
Any hairy arms.
you hate hairy blonde arms.
I've got like a little tuft at my wrist,
right.
but see when someone has
You
it's
hate
like,
hairy blonde arms. That's just such a
no.
bizarre
See if you got like
corner of our audience to annoy.
see if you got like Robin Williams hair
Yeah.
arms. Cool,
Thick black hair.
thick, dark hair.
Yeah, yeah.
See if you get completely hairless arms like a dolphin, like you, me, and Roscoe.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah, that's
God,
cool.
God made you that way.
Yeah, yeah.
See if you've got thick, blonde, hairy arms.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
Disgusting.
Get out of here. It looks bad.
What about
your
ginger? What about ginger hairy arms?
Great, love it, sexy. Right.
Yeah.
Next tattoo.
That's a big woo. That's a big boohoo.
I believe the same guy.
That's the
It's
same guy?
exact same guy.
That's the same guy before he has the top one finished.
So he never had the top one. And look how little respect he's given to the drummer there.
And he's wearing Puma, and they're they're against BDS. So
Yeah.
this guy actually is a Zionist also.
Presumably. Yeah. Can't wait to have McDonald's after this with you.
Hey, this look at the hands look
Not
like
a good hand.
AI have done it,
Listen, no disrespect to this guy, no disrespect to the Cribs, but
and that
tit-
drumstick is bad as well. It looks like he's holding a lightning bolt.
it looks like he's a fucking conductor at an orchestra. That's
Yeah.
not how drumsticks look. They're not perfectly sharp and pointed like that.
Yeah,
Who the fuck did this to
this
this
is
guy?
bad
Anyway,
tat.
bad tat. Great band, bad tat.
Yeah,
Sucks.
yeah. Okay, that's a boohoo from both the boys.
Do you want to do a little bit of the we take a look at the album art and we decide if it is good or
You
fast.
sound like a dying man.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how
who's been summoned to
it
like
feels to look
some
at
old-
certain albums.
Yeah, okay. So we'll have a look at the album cover. It is
Could not get one that didn't have a little sticker on it that says includes bonus DVD featuring a making of documentary that we both watched last night, and not together. And we didn't cuddle up underneath a blanket and watch this Cribs documentary, although I wouldn't mind doing that with you. And a silent Super 8 film. And look at this. What do you think of this album cut? It looks kind of handmade, collage, cut out, very indie.
It is, and they have the same artist for all of their album covers, I believe. Who
Talk about
basically-
men's needs, women's needs, anti-macho. This cunt's crying.
You've got a crying man, and this is before men's mental health.
This was before men had emotions, so this was actually quite startling to do.
Yeah, they've got a big crying fella on the front.
They done the new fellas. Well, now they've got the crying fella.
Yeah, good fellas, new fellas,
Last
crying
track
fella.
on the new Canada Cheese album's called The Lads.
Wow. Okay. Bloody hell.
Ignore the ignorant. It's interesting, I love the Cribs.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we'll get to this. Back to this. We'll keep that up. I love the Cribs, but I do feel as if something Johnny Marrch said about working with them kind of stuck out. He was like, I don't want to psychoanalyze them, but it's good working with three brothers because nobody's trying to play games with each other. It's like they all know who each other are.
You don't think brothers are trying to play games with each other? Me and my brothers are in a fantasy football league at the moment, and I'm constantly trying to manipulate my brothers into making bad choices. Like, for example, my brother this week, because Bournemouth have a double game week, he triple captained Dominic Solanke for Bournemouth, which was something that I kind of was hoping he would do. And then it worked out because Dominic Solanke missed a penalty, which then you lose points for. So it's totally fucked up his game, and I'm back on top of the league. So I actually think Johnny Marr's talking out of his arse there. Or maybe he's never played fantasy football.
I think he's never played it.
Okay.
But he is a big fan of the Blues.
He's a Man City supporter. Right, okay. Gone down in my estimation there, Johnny Marr.
Interesting. You think he should be a Man U supporter?
I would have more respect for that, but I would also hate him.
Football's so crazy. Anyway, he was saying, not to psychoanalyze him, but it's great working with three people who, he's came from working with the Smiths where they're all fucking doing heroin, and one of them's doing heroin, and the other two are fucking trying to do all this weird shit, So he's with these three guys who just want to make records, and he's loving being in a back to basics British northern rock band.
British.
But I would say one thing, comparing like Ryan Jarman, the vocalist for these lads, to Jarvis Cocker and Pulp or Morrissey and the Smiths, it's like those were two people. I think when you start a band young, the way they did, you kind of get to reinvent yourself as like whoever you want to be, and that means that you can create a stronger signal to put yourself into the world. Like Morrissey can be like, I'm an asexual guy who loves Oscar Wilde and kitchen sink dramas, or Jarvis Cocker can be like, I'm the horniest guy who's ever lived and I love shagging posh girls, and then that can just be your whole thing. Whereas if you're in a band with your two brothers, you can't really pretend to be something and then become that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
No, I understand. Because you have to be real to your bandmates.
Yeah.
Your bandmates have to accept whatever version of you are. But then, maybe
I'm a realist.
I guess maybe that's the issue that ultimately broke up Oasis.
They knew each other too well.
And they couldn't pretend to be anything that they weren't. Well, I kind of understand what you're saying.
I think it's a great, not necessarily hot take, but a cool take. Not enough cool takes out there.
Ignore the Ignorant is a reference to Wakefield.
Football Connection of the week?
No. Is a reference to Wakefield Council electing members of the BNP.
Really?
Which happened in Dagenham also around the same time.
Yeah.
It was when
Nick
Griffin.
Cannon.
Nick Griffin. Who's Nick Cannon? I'd like to fucking find Nick Griffin out of a cannon and into a wall. I wouldn't want to see his body fly very far.
Who's Nick Cannon?
Just a high impact against a big concrete wall, so his body splatters.
Cannon is an American comedian, television host, actor, and rapper.
Right. It's bad when rappers last, isn't it?
I don't think he raps very good.
Carey.
That's why I was thinking about him.
No, he's nothing to do with this, and I certainly wouldn't be calling him ignorant publicly.
He wasn't in the BNP.
They do fly a little bit of politics in this. The first song is
We were aborted.
Yeah, it's about Nuts magazine.
Right. Okay.
And about how lad culture is gross, basically.
Yeah, it was anti-lad culture. I feel like they got a lot of lads on board with the last record, Men's Needs.
So this feels like a response to that in a lot of ways. In that, first off, they're going, right, we're a little bit political, we're anti-lad, we're fed up of coked up boys going, Men's Needs at the back of our gigs.
Yeah.
Also, we're being lumped in with this landfill.
We're not like that.
And we're not like that. And so, to show how cool we are, Johnny Marr's here.
And Jeffrey Lewis is doing a comic about it.
This is how, like, we are the real thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This album isn't as good as Mesney's, Whimsy's,
You think
whatever. No. There's the things that make the Cribs really good are not on this album as much as the simplicity. And it's a shame because it's like Johnny Marr is great, but like the more body you give a Cribs song, the less like a Cribs song it sounds.
Yeah.
So that whereas there are beautiful songs on. It's a really top heavy album. The first 4 songs are like, yes, it's the Cribs, it's the Smiths together, and then it just fucking sort of tails off into nothing. So there are like there's the most Cribsy song really is probably Cheat on Me. Cheat on Me, yeah. The most Smithsy song is probably City of Bugs, which
interesting
sounds
I think
like
we share the same skies. Is the most it's got that kind of
yeah, that has the sort of jang, but City of Bugs has the
it's the big noisy one.
How Soon Is Now kind of vibes.
Oh, okay, sure.
And you can imagine Morrissey's voice over it.
Yeah.
But after that, I mean, really after that, it does sort of tail off into just a sort of kind of directionless.
I completely agree. And listen, I just want to maybe throw a spanner in the works of Johnny Marrch.
The works are lying there, and they're ready to have a spanner thrown at them.
Get in me.
Yeah,
That's what it's saying. The spanner.
That works is wet for that spanner.
Not to
Which is actually not good because what you want the spanner in the works is supposed to upset. So the works would never want the spanner. So you're right, it doesn't work.
Sometimes people want what's bad for them.
That's true. Also, like I ate a packet of Tim Tams last night.
Yeah,
which I know I shouldn't have done. No.
Full packet, full sleeve.
I shared a sleeve of Tim Tams with my beloved.
Right. Well, what I was going to say was. My big
You'll
sister
never seen that. Huh?
hated Johnny Marr.
Right.
Because it's her favourite band. Then this fucking old guy shows up that she doesn't care about.
Yeah, who the fuck's this guy?
And that was my first introduction to Johnny Marr was, it's this old guy who showed up and ruined the band. I was like, oh, wow. Right. And I remember watching, I think, The One Show.
What? Johnny Marr wrote that, didn't he? Just want to ask you, how do you sleep at night? One of the best.
What was going on there?
Matt Baker was just being a fucking legend. Incredible.
Do you think it was kind of like, how do you sleep at night? Like, you're so busy, how do you get to sleep? Or do you think it was a genuine criticism?
Have you not seen it?
I've seen it.
It's like the end of the episode. They're not even talking about anything remotely to do with that. And obviously I've got one final chance to say this. And he just goes, just before you go quickly, how do you sleep at night? Oh, it cuts deep. Oh my God.
And he had to plead ignorance about it. He had to go, no, man.
I don't think he even ever said that. I think, listen, he's a fucking, Matt Baker is a socialist king.
Let's get him on. I want Alex Zane.
Yes.
Matt Baker.
Hell yeah.
Me and you are doing something else.
Yeah.
And they are just doing enjoying our
We're busy. We are busy. We should get them to go to host the podcast instead of us. People, I'd listen.
I would as well.
Patreon only.
I think this is a badass episode. I'll tell you one thing. Not a badass episode. A badass album. This is a badass episode. One of the best we've ever done. But I would say I was listening to a live record. It was a kind of fake live record that the Cribs recorded at the Cavern Club in Liverpool.
The Cannon Club? Or is it Cavern Club?
The Nick Cannon Club. It was the Cavern Club, I believe, is the famous Liverpudlian. Check the Beatles Club. Recorded at the Cannon Club? Are you fucking high?
Yes.
Jesus. Tim Tam ricocheting around your body like a bullet in a fucking bank vault.
Fucking nothing ricochets around my body, you know.
Right.
Those Tim Tams are long gone.
What was I saying there?
That you listened to the live album, recorded it in 2020. Was it like a COVID thing?
I think it was a COVID thing. Like, we can't do real live because like just wearing a leather jacket. You can't fucking like. You kept saying like next time we record, we don't wear a leather jacket. And I go like, I was told you not to wear the leather jacket, And he's like, oh fucking hell, the next song. So listening to that was them. That's how they speak.
Was something that they said, or were you just riffing something about?
No, I'm just trying to remember a conversation that they have on the album about how one of them Ryan, I believe, is like, oh, I've worn my leather jacket, but it's too hot for that. And the other one, remind me next time we do something not to wear my leather jacket. The other one goes, we did remind you, and you've done it anyway. So we bet they do.
Okay, so they left that in.
They left a lot in. Tell you what they didn't leave in? Any of the tracks on this album.
Yeah.
Cheat on Me's not on it. We Share the Same Sky's not on it. Harry Carey, City of Bugs, Ignore the Ignorant, Save Your Secrets.
Interesting.
Any of this shit. None of it's on the live record. And it's almost as if they go, well, that was a thing we did with Johnny Marrch, and now that's almost like a different, like FFS, Franz Ferdinand and Sparks. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't think Franz Ferdinand's necessarily pulling any of the collaborations that don't work patter when they do a live show.
Yeah, okay. It's interesting because I looked at the set list and there were a couple songs of these which are in the most played. Mainly We Share the Same Skies and City of Bugs. But, I mean, that could have just been... I don't know how recent that is, you know?
Yeah.
But listen, I enjoyed listening to it. It was good to listen to Cribs. I kind of just wished I was listening to Men's Needs, Women's Needs, whatever, to be honest.
I kind of wish we were listening to the New Fellas. That's my favourite Cribs album because my sister was into them.
But
and the debut records get some absolute screamers.
But I did enjoy giving the Cribs a sort of reappraisal all these years down the line. Yeah. And having a listen to them and going, do you know what? They were offering a lot more than those other indie bands at the time.
Oh, hugely, yeah.
Still are. They're good, interesting post-punk influences. And, they're not broken up. They're still around.
They're still... Do you know what happened? They were mired in contractual issues. They didn't own any of their music, and they were suing Warner Brothers or somebody who had all the music.
So we may well see a Men's Needs, Women's Needs, whatever Taylor's version.
I don't know about that. But basically what happened was they were opening for the Foo Fighters, and they were like, fucking, gonna
leather jacket.
I want the toilet paper. And then Dave Grohl went, what? Say that again? And then he said it more clearly. And then he was like, oh, so he just got his lawyers to go in and sort out all the contractual issues.
Wow.
So now they've got all the music
He
back,
really is the nicest man in rock.
Yeah.
That's what everyone says. Mm-hmm. And he's got a giant hog as well, apparently.
Apparently he's packing heat.
Yeah.
Apparently he's like a fucking...
Ever long? Ever fucking very long, apparently.
Ever thick. And them trousers, Dave Grohl. Men's Needs, big cocks.
Right, let's choose some songs for the playlist.
Okay, every week we add 2 songs apiece to the playlist if you're a new listener. One One inspired by the conversation and one from the record that we're covering. I would like to stick on Cheat on Me. I like it when he screams
Cheat on me!
On the way here I listened to last year's Snow over and over again. I'm going to stick that on.
It's nice, actually. Last year's Snow. It's a bit more vulnerable than the other tracks. A little bit more. It's a bit more Smithsy in terms of the lyrics, which is one thing the Cribs don't. They don't
have a distinctive voice.
Well, I would say it is distinctive, but it's not like
the voice is distinctive, but the rate isn't.
The Libertines, the sort of Smiths to the Libertines,
you see it.
Pipeline is. You can see that these guys are sort of unashamedly interested in like poetry, old English poetry. You don't really get that with the Cribs. You know what I mean? You get a much more simplistic. You get if it isn't inspired by poetry, it's more what's his name? Chicken Town. Fucking John Cooper Clarke.
Oh, okay. A wee bit, yeah.
John Cooper, fucking Chicken. You ever heard Chicken Town by John Cooper Clarke? Evidently, Chicken Town. You don't know that song? That poem?
Is it a kind of post-punk backing? I was listening to one that had that kind of backing.
I mean, he has played with music plenty of times, but it's the fucking pigs and fucking bars and fucking going out. It's called Chicken Town. Anyway, and
he done it on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, I believe.
Yes, I believe the vinyl of that is on being released for Record Store Day.
Yes.
John Cooper Clarke live at Channel 4 Studios. I'm going to put on City of Bugs, 6 minutes long, jangly, slow. Like I said, it's that Smithsy. It's
very
cool.
American.
I like it. I like it a lot. Inspired by our chat.
What a chat we've had.
Can I put on... Do I want to put on a Smiths song? XFM. Who else did I see that week? I saw Lightspeed Champion. I saw the Gutter Twins. Terrible. I'm going to put on Panic by the Smiths.
Oh, okay.
Because, you can't. There can't be too much Smiths on the playlist, as far as I'm concerned. Panic on the streets of London.
I wonder to myself. Anyway, I saw them on the One Show. Never finished that anecdote. And basically, it was Ryan Jarman and Johnny Marrch from the Cribs, but the host just kept asking about the Smiths. And Ryan Jarman was sitting. Do you know how?
Was it Matt Baker?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But do you know if you're in like a kind of grimy punk club and you're wearing like a really low cut t-shirt,
Which
and, like,
they often
leather
were,
jacket,
yeah.
little hair, it looks cool. See when you're on the one show couch and you get a little tiny leather jacket on and nobody's asking about you because
Yeah.
they just want to talk about the Smiths. He looks so sad.
And at the end, he just goes, "How do you sleep at night?" Fuck off.
Fuck off. I'm going to stick on my favourite song by the Cribs and album.
Album.
Enjoy an album. Listen. I
Enjoy
forgot
an
to
album.
talk about this, by the way. There's a special.
We don't
have time. Thanks, though. Look how nice that is. That's this. If you're watching a video, that's the limited edition cover that only got released in Lancashire, Wakefield, and Oregon. Maybe London. I don't know. Anyway, my favourite Cribs song is called You Were Always the One. No, wait. What's the one? Wait a minute.
Oh my God, Christopher,
sorry.
just choose a song.
Well,
We're
I've got so many notes I didn't get to bring up.
Yeah, well, we're overrunning.
For fuck's sake. Wait a minute, I'll just look it up.
Come on, you can't just look it up. It's my favourite Cribs song,
It
by the
is.
way. I just don't know what it's called.
Okay, it's a high pressure situation doing a podcast.
Come on to fuck!
Chill out, bro. Take a breath. It Was Only Love is called.
Oh, you've always talking about that.
What the fuck was that? No, were you just sick in your mouth? You should be.
I just have a little cough is all.
Rajiv Karia,
Uh-huh.
long-time album enjoyer,
Yeah.
contacted me and said he loved that song so much he nearly bought an accordion.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know that you've gone fucking crazy if you're nearly buying accordions. Fuck me.
And it's about why don't we take a walk? Oh, there's no one to tell us no. Oh, you mean nothing to me, hometown jealousy.
It's about that.
It's just a formality. And it's like completely unlike anything that you would get on this. So and Men's Needs, Women's Needs. It's like a real jaunty, post-Libertines, concertina core indie screamer about not loving somebody. It's sick. Stick
Great.
that on.
Excellent. Good choice. That brings us to the end of this week's episode of Enjoy an Album.
Did you enjoy an album?
The first half, yes.
Oh, I enjoyed the album. I don't think both halves of an album have to be good to enjoy it. It's a lot to ask for.
It's a bit like a Tim Tam.
Would you say it was a flawed masterpiece?
It's a bit like it's a bit like dunking a Tim Tam into a hot cup of tea, right? In that the first part
Is this a PK routine?
melts perfectly in your mouth and it's delicious, and then you just chuck the rest in it and it's still cold and it's still good. It's a Tim Tam, right? But it's not as nice as that hot, soft, gooey bit with Johnny Marrch at the top.
Right. Okay, well,
That's what I would say.
what an episode there.
Listen, I'm just happy to be here. We'll be back next week. Patreons for the live fucking show.
Yep.
Hell yes. There might be a little Vittorio and Johnny Marrch interlude actually in between.
Johnny Marrch. If you know what I'm saying.
Nope. We'll catch you next week. Love you. Bye.
Peace and love in the new millennium.